Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video here at EV Logic. Today I'm going to take you through the Polestar website and configure and spec a brand new Polestar 2 in terms of what I believe is the best specification against value for money for the actual vehicle itself. So just as a quick overview, there are three different batteries or ranges you can get with the Polestar 2. So there's two single motors and one dual motor. The entry level single motor that we'll see before we go through the spec will give you a claimed range of up to 294 miles. Again, that's claims. You're probably looking at about 240, 250 in the real world with a 69 kilowatt hour battery pack. There is also a long range single motor, which will give you about 336 of claimed range miles. And then there is the more performance dual motor long range, which will give you up to about 299 miles, but a 0 to 60 speed of about 4.5 seconds. So that's the three different batteries. There are some packs and options that we can go through as well, but we'll take you through that when we go through the configuration on the website. Let's go. Okay, so first things to notice at time of filming, which today is the 28th of March 2022, they've actually stopped taking orders temporarily for the Polestar 2. That's just due to the market we're in at the moment. There is, shortages and incredible lead times. Polestar is actually one of the better ones, but they have stopped taking orders. New orders are available on the 11th of April. There are some pre-configured options, but that's not the purpose of today's session, or recording rather. We're just going to go through, we're still going to spec up what I believe is the best in terms of value for money against the options of the actual vehicle itself. So you're still looking at about, I've spoken to Polestar, August/September. If you were to order a brand new car now, you can still see some from the pre-configured list maybe arrive as early as late May or early June. So as mentioned, there is the three battery options starting here. The prices currently start, this is as of correct as of time of filming, of £40,900 in terms of the batteries. Now, I personally, unless you really need the long range, so if you regularly do long distance motorway driving, I would go with the standard single range motor, just because that's going to save you a couple of £1,000s, which could be utilized towards what I believe anyways more important options. So only really go for the long range single motor if you absolutely need it. I personally wouldn't bother with the long range dual motor. Yes, okay, it's great for a YouTube video to do a 0 to 60 speed test. End of the day, if you want performance, you're going to go for a Tesla Model 3 most likely, which is always going to be quicker than the quickest Polestar that's available. And in 95% of real world day-to-day driving, which is what I'm basically speccing this on, the standard range motor at 7 seconds 0 to 60 is more than enough for most people. So we're going to stick with that, and then we're going to go through some of the additional options. Just here is some specification. As we said already, is 69 kilowatt hour battery pack, 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. I'm not too fast here about the actual other measurements for today's video. And then what's included as standard. So there is a high feature list. There is some things which are missing, which we'll go through in the packs. However, one of Polestar's really good thing is, in terms, if you were to buy or lease the car, you're going to get 3 years free vehicle servicing, 3 years warranty and roadside assistance, and also 3 years connected services. So remember, Polestar's got built-in Android, so it runs on Google in terms of the infotainment screen. Finally, cars are starting to realize that, you know what, we have experts here, let's utilize their software. So Polestar is one of the first to do that, as opposed to the vehicle's own inbuilt entertainment system. And then there are some other things here. For example, you get standard cruise control, heated front seats, a steel roof, not a sunroof as standard, which is one of Polestar's really cool features actually. Apple CarPlay, interestingly, is going to be available on spring. They are promising this year. However, I would say realistically, Apple CarPlay you're going to be using for Google Maps 9 times out of 10. So that's going to be available on the vehicle anyway. You get a rear camera, front and rear parking sensors, and some other additional features here as well, available as standard. It's pretty standard for in terms of standard features for the price point of this vehicle, right? But what we want to look at is some of the optional extras. Before we get onto that, the actual color itself. So I personally like the black. I think it suits the car quite well. It gives it a sort of mean, aggressive look. Obviously, looking at the rear tail light as well, it complements that. I think the integrated Thor hammer lights really nicely. What I also do like, I do like the magnesium as well. It really makes it stand out. So there's a little bit of a contrast to the black. But because it's a £900 option, personally, again, I would choose, if you were deciding between packs and color of the car, I would stick to the black. This is going to come down to personal preference, but save the money here and add it onto the packs elsewhere. So at the moment, we are still on that £40,900 price point. Interior, I'll come on to a bit later. What we want to look at, as mentioned, is packs. So the Polestar comes with 3 optional packs. You've got the Pilot pack, the Plus pack, and the Performance pack. In terms of the actual vehicle itself, there isn't much difference in terms of, normally with a car you'll have different ranges. There's drastic changes to the body and the styling or whatever. There isn't so much here. The Pilot and the Plus are more aesthetics and specific features with it inside the car. Performance is obviously around the actual driving ability of the actual vehicle itself. So looking at the Pilot Lite first, this is the cheapest pack here at £2,150. There was previously an actual full Pilot pack, which I think was £3,000. That has been reduced again just to try and streamline some of their orders. Personally, I think, and it's pretty criminal that it's not included as standard for the price of the car, but adaptive cruise control with pilot assist should be standard. It is standard in alternative vehicles. It should be included as standard, and for me, that's a non-negotiable. It's something I have to have. LED front fog lights with cornering, it's nice, but it's not something that it's not imperative for me. Again, with a 360 camera, it's nice to have, but if you've got a reversing camera and front and rear sensors, 90% of the time that's sufficient. And then some other assistant aids. But I'm going to add this option specifically because of the adaptive cruise control, which makes a huge difference to your comfort in terms of your everyday driving. So I'm going to add that pack. And I'm going to close that. The Plus pack, let's see what that offers here. So again, this is quite an extensive list at £4,000, and I think this is pretty good actual value for money, really. So the first is you get the Harman Kardon premium sound. So that alone sometimes on its own is about a £1,000 to £2,000 option. 4-way power lumbar support power seats, which is again pretty cool on the driver's side here. And some interior lighting, which is really nice, but also, and this is what makes the car look a lot more airy and a lot more light through, is that fixed panoramic sunroof, which again it's a nice to have, but I think it really makes the car stand out. And actually, I think it will help retain the car's value come selling time in 3 or 4 years time. Heat pump obviously will give the car slightly better improved range as well, and some other slightly nice to have. The grocery bag holder is actually, it's funny, it's in the front of the glove box. There's a little hook that will allow you to hook on your groceries if needed, and then the tinted rear window there as well. So I will add that. In adding that, that will replace the existing interior with what they call this slate weave tech interior. So that's basically, it prides itself on its sustainability and being really conscious when it comes to the environment. So these seats are fully vegan leather, and actually they're quite easy to clean. Ironically, however, you can still get a fully ventilated Napa leather interior with wood deco, but that's a £4,000 extra. I don't think that's necessary. Stick to the vegan leather seats. They are quite cool. They are comfortable. And it's included as part of the Plus pack. So I will go with the slate color as opposed to the charcoal, just for a bit of contrast in terms of that. Now, Performance pack. Personally, I think this is a waste of money for one of two reasons. A, if you wanted to add this, you need to move away from the standard single motor and go to the long range dual motor. So the performance pack is not available on the single motor, number one. So that in itself will already add an extra £5,000. Going back into it here though, so that's 5,000 to upgrade the motor, 5,000 for the actual pack. So that's an extra £10,000. So it's not pocket change, right? And let's see what you're getting. So it is nice. So you're going to get some 20-inch alloys, which, in my opinion, is going to impact the comfort, the handling, and also obviously the range and the efficiency of the vehicle. So even as an option, I would personally stay away from them, unless you're taking this car on a track or doing YouTube videos. The gold calipers, granted, are nice, as is the touch of the gold seatbelt, but really, are you going to pay £5,000 for some gold seatbelts and gold calipers? I think they should have made these as an option, but really, probably aftermarket, you can change the seatbelts if you really wanted to, and it's not going to cost you £5,000. So yeah, I would personally stay away from this performance pack. I don't think it's necessary, and it makes the car really expensive, and we're going into Tesla Model Y range and category. And then lastly, as just mentioned, the wheels here. So as standard, I think these 19s look all right. The 20, you can change it to these 20s if you really, really wanted to. This one is, the other 20s are, as mentioned, included as part of the performance pack. I think the 19s will improve ride comfort, increase the efficiency, and these days, obviously, you're going for the single motor, so you're going to want the maximum range. Save the money, you don't really need it. So that's how I would spec it. That will come to a total of £47,050. So it's not cheap, and at the moment, obviously, the UK, unfortunately, it's actually, I read recently, it's one of the 10 worst countries to buy an electric vehicle in terms of government incentives. So we do have stuff such as free congestion charge if you're driving into London, no road tax, and there is a government grant on vehicles below, I think it's £30,000 now, which most electric cars are above anyway, and the grant is really, really small. So it's not like, for example, if you were to go to Norway, where the VAT is completely ruled off, wiped out the cost of the vehicle. That's 20% immediate saving. But I think the vehicle itself is, personally, it's one of my favorite electric cars at the moment. It's stylish. What sets this apart, in my opinion, from a Tesla Model 3, where you're not going to get necessarily, it's not going to be as fun to drive, and it's not going to be as quick, and have the performance element and maybe the handling element of a Tesla. However, what you're going to get is comfort, a superior build quality and interior, and everything just feels better built and stitched together. So for the everyday driver, unless you're a super Tesla fanboy, my opinion would be to go for the Polestar if your budget allows. Of course, there are some other options. So you do have the option of Polestar leasing, or a loan through the purchase plan, or the Polestar Choices, which is basically the PCP. Again, it's not cheap here. So for the £7,000 deposit, it's going to cost you £460 a month across 4 years. Polestar are predicting a high future value of £24,000, which is pretty generous, but I think the car will hold its value quite well, to be honest, if you were to go down the PCP route. At the moment, I don't think the single motor is available through Polestar leasing. Yep, I'm getting an error, so it's not available. I need to upgrade if I wanted to. And with Polestar, if you did want a quicker delivery, they do have some pre-configured cars here, which you can, as mentioned earlier, which you can see are available in May or June. This updates daily. There's only about 4 cars at the moment. So these only all include the Pilot pack, not the Plus pack. Personally, if I was to get this car, I would go for the Pilot and the Plus, and stick to the black or the white in terms of the color. But the single motor is fine. And what's really nice, I've realized I've probably waffled on quite a lot in this video, is the Polestar test drives is a 2-hour slot, so you get sufficient time with the car, test it out, and I will be doing a video soon, actually, hopefully in actually reviewing the Polestar in person in a test drive, so watch this space. Thanks for watching YouTube. As always, please remember to give this video a massive thumbs up. It's going to help me out a lot. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and leave your comments down below in terms of what you prefer, the Tesla Model 3 or the Polestar 2. And if you had the budget and you were in the market for an electric vehicle, which of those two would you go for? Or perhaps or not an alternative vehicle if there is something on your list. Thanks for watching and peace out.